You brave hearts to another pelvic restoration masterclass for men and women. I am your host tonight, Cheryl Serta. I'm a master practitioner with a Power Pack clinic in Northern California, Occidental Health and Healing. The beautiful Lorraine Clifford, who's usually joining me, is working with Sage and the Wolfe Non-Surgical, so she may be jumping on and joining us somewhere through tonight's show. I will certainly leave that open for her to join us. So last week we talked about the women's infertility. And so tonight we're going to talk about the male infertility because we want to give equal time because this is, men have pelvic issues too. And one of the things that it's becoming more prevalent in our society today, of course, is issues in the pelvic region, whether you're a man or a woman. So this is our practitioner patient live Q&A masterclass. So you remember your questions matter no matter what. So you can go to bhnuniversity.com. It's every Monday night. That should say 8 p.m. This is an older slide. So you can put your questions into whatever platform that you are listening to. And that way we will get your questions answered by next week. Somebody will get back to you with any questions you have about any of the topics that we are discussing. And of course, right now we're having a spring into summer cleansing, and I want to say toxins and poisons loss sale, right? Because that's what happens when we lose weight and we lose those fat cells, which get created when our body's trying to protect us. So when you're not overweight, you're over toxic and over poisoned. But sale up to 40% off right now at the DocketDetoxStore.com. So be sure to get there and check it out. So as I was saying, tonight's topic is infertility in men. We used to think that it was just a woman's issue, and it is absolutely not, right? Because, what is it, right? Who gets it, right? And the causes. And of course, we see now, and we've gotten statistics now that even show that miscarriages that are happening in the first trimester for women can be also the responsibility is the male sperm. And as we know, as an inflammation nation, and if a man has lots of inflammation, then it's no different in the pelvic area with all of that acidity. Then the cells that are being created aren't going to be the greatest, grandest version of themselves. So they're not going to be as viable for that healthy fetus to grow. And so I love that we are taking all the responsibility away from the woman and understanding that this is something that happens as a couple and it happens together. So what is male infertility, right? And they say a sexually mature male's inability to impregnate a fertile woman, right? That accounts for 40 to 50% of infertility. And that is a really high number, right? We know, and Lorraine and I talk about this. I mean, there was a time, even when I was younger, that you hardly ever heard about infertility or someone not getting pregnant or any of the issues that we're having today. It was rare, and people would gather around and it would become a concern. Like today, it is an issue, and there are lots going on. And it affects approximately 10 to 15% of men, right? And global stats raised 19% since 1990. But these are only the numbers of the people that actually go to the hospital or go because of issues. Those numbers are probably so much higher because a lot of people don't go to the doctor just because they don't get their wife pregnant because they think it's a woman's issue, right? And in a lot of places where there isn't the money to even consider infertility treatments, then nobody goes and has it checked out. And so so I'm thinking those numbers have got to be higher because we look at what we eat as a nation and what we're putting into our bodies. And I can see why that number would be so, really a big number. And what else do I want to say about that? We're just living in a more toxic world, right? And like when I was talking to Dr. Judy Mikovits yesterday, our soil is poisoned, our air is poisoned, our water is poisoned. And when you think about that, then how can we not be having issues? And as she said, When there's inflammation, no healing can happen. And this is what we're always talking about when we talk in here at the DACA Detox or any of the shows that we get on, and especially Dr. Wolfe when he comes on and he's saying to us, we're an inflammation nation. All of these issues in your pelvic area, right? We're pooping in our pelvis, not a leaky gut. We're pooping in our pelvis. This is what's creating even more of the inflammation. And it's not necessarily, and it's a lot of this also happens to underweight people. When you get to a point where your body can no longer take up nutrition and you're becoming malnourished, you still have inflammation. You still have issues in your intestinal tract. And so when we think about that, and then it just exacerbates, because men, you've got your prostate, you've got your bladder, right? And even though your scrotum might be hanging down below, it's still attached. And so when the inflammation starts spreading, it's spreading everywhere, right? And we are so busy, definitely a busy nation. And this is what I say, that we are running on the hamster wheel. And as long as we keep doing the same thing over and over again, and we're not going to ever get those different results that we need to make it better, we have to learn how to eliminate well. We have to learn what real digestion is and how to bring back our health. So this is what I call super important. So what are the causes of male infertility? It says deficiencies in sperm count or semen quality, which we were just talking about. If you got inflammation and you're an acidic environment, how can you possibly be creating healthy semen, right? How about a genetic problem? Although I differ, we're in epigenetic problems in this country. And then how about cystic fibrosis or hemochromatosis? I mean, these great big words that they're throwing out here, and people read that and they go, oh my goodness. Or how about an STI or inflammatory condition? There can be ductal obstructions, just like when women have the fallopian tube scarring. There can also be scarring and scar tissue that blocks and obstructs, right? The prostatitis, retrograde ejaculation, hernia repair, right? And when you listen to these things and you think about it and you're going, wow, that is unbelievable. So what is retrograde ejaculation? Okay. It occurs, and I have to read this because this isn't something I naturally know all the time. But occurs when the semen, which should be ejaculated, right, through the urethra, is redirected into the urinary bladder. And so it doesn't actually go to where it's supposed to go. And of course, stress. We live in a completely stressful environment. When you look at the amount of stress that people deal with at work and how much to get done and how much more is expected for less and less, compensation. So stress, relationship problems. If you're trying to get pregnant and you guys are, really working at it and you're not getting pregnant, and then the depression comes in and nobody's going to the root of the problem. Nobody's telling you how to create this amazing pelvic bowl to grow a baby in, or how to get the inflammation down so you can start making those healthy, amazing semen, right? The sperm, so that it's really active and ready to go. Environmental and lifestyle factors. We already talked about how they're poisoning our sky, our air, our water, our soil. And so that it's a domino effect. If the cows are eating the grass, which no longer has nutritional value, right? If we've already poisoned the soil, and then the cows eat the grass, and so they're not putting into the meat the nutrition that we need, it just becomes, a domino effect. And then it becomes a problem across the board. How about alcohol? Men don't think much about it, but alcohol is like throwing fuel on the fire, gasoline on the fire if you've already got inflammation. It is a poison. When you walk into a bar and the bartender says, hey, pick your poison, or what's your poison tonight? When I think about that, it's like, yeah, we know that already. So are you drinking in excess, or is it in moderation, or do you already have so much inflammation that's the last thing you need to do? How about a sedentary lifestyle where you're sitting behind a desk? Maybe you're a computer programmer and you hardly get a chance to get up, and maybe you're too tired to go to the gym. And you think about all the things that we need in order to keep these bodies running at peak performance so that we can be the greatest, grandest version of ourselves, right? And they even said mumps after puberty. And that's an interesting thing because I actually knew a man who, after getting mumps, never being sent to the doctor, running a very high fever, and this was just after puberty, he actually became sterile. And that could be an issue. And of course, nobody knew anything about inflammation back there or how to help him or treat him when he did have the mumps. So hormone or pituitary gland problems, antibodies against your own sperm, sickle cell anemia, spinal cord injuries. So anything that's happening in your pelvic area or around the pelvic area. If you've had any kind of surgery, that means you've got scar tissue. And scar tissue continues to build on itself. And then you got calcification. And this is where, like I said, all these things start to get exacerbated. But here at the DACA Detox, we already know that there is an answer, that there's a way to reduce that inflammation and to reverse the irreversible whenever possible, right? What are signs of unhealthy sperm? Well, isn't this interesting? Over the past 40 years, sperm counts worldwide have halved and sperm quality has declined alarmingly in 1 to 20 men currently facing reduced fertility. You remember how they used to make you go in and you had to go and they'd make you do something in a cup so that they check the viability of your sperm, right? You can tell if you have abnormal discharge, although this can also be signs of an STD. Fever with other signs, foul, rotten, or fishy smelling semen, a lump or a hardness in a testicle, red, brown, yellow, or green colored semen. I would definitely think that there was an issue. And swollen or enlarged testicles and testicular pain. These can be issues of other things, but I guarantee you it's inflammation. So when we have that inflammation, that means that nothing's going to be working at peak performance, and we're not going to be creating the cells that we need to create that wonderful, healthy, sperm. And, men, this is your responsibility as well as it is for the woman. You're giving half of the genetic that we need to make this baby become a viable human being. So it's so important. And we have so many risks now that so many things that increase the risk, right? Hypertension, diabetes, renal disease, pulmonary disease, liver disease, depression, our stinking thinking, peripheral vascular disease, cerebrovascular disease, heart disease, anxiety disorders, bipolar disorders, my goodness, testicular cancer, melanoma, colon cancer, prostate cancer, alcohol abuse, and drug abuse. And of course, all of these can go back to, we all know that cancer is really 4-stage inflammation. Inflammation is at the root of all these issues. We can't say it enough. And that's something we can address. That is something that we can, help with or take care of. And of course, when you go to the doctor and it gives you these names and these words, and the more words that you have, the more fear that gets going, right? And when you have that fear, you're not going to be in a place where you're going to be healing. You're going to be in a sympathetic state. You're going to be in fight or flight. You're now in this place where you're adding more stress and worry, and learning how to educate yourself to learn the truth about what's really going on in your body so that you can get back into the driver's seat. You can start to take massive personal action to, reverse this irreversible. Get off the drugs, get off the alcohol, because that is, also a learned behavior. And it's an environmental behavior. What did men do at the end of a hard day's work? I want to come home, have a cold beer, sit in front of the the TV. So now you're drinking the alcohol, which is adding the, fuel to the fire. And now you're sitting in front of the EMFs, because what they don't have on here is how much time we spend in front of the computer, TVs, cell phones, and how much those EMFs are affecting you as men and women, and especially in our pelvic area. And it absolutely attacks your immune system because it goes after the glutathione in your blood. And you need that. That is your immune building, fighters. And so I'm wearing my EMF, even though every time I'm in front of my computer, I wear my Tesla glasses so that the healing light is coming in. And I also have a EMF-free clinic because I went to the DACA Detox and got one for my whole house, actually 1.5 acres, right? So what is the treatment you can do for this? This is what the doctors say. There's no treatments to improve the quality of your sperm. They prescribe estrogen receptor blocker that's supposed to increase the number of sperm. So now you can imagine if you're taking these blockers, even though you may not have as much estrogen, men still need to have it. You're messing with your hormonal balance, right? It says techniques using existing sperm to increase odds, no sperm count, and retrieve sperm from testicles. Wow. Intrauterine insemination, where the sperm placed in the uterus through a tube. In vitro fertilization, where the sperm is injected into the mature egg before placement in the uterus. And stem cell treatment. And of course, watching Dr. Judy Mikovits, and as she talks about doing the stem cell treatment and people using patches, well, do you know which stem cell you're working on? Because there's so many. It's not just one stem cell. So I love coming to the Brave Heart Nation and listening to all the different things that we have available to educate ourselves, right? Because it all comes back to this. This is the highway of life. This is where the inflammation got started. It gets started from the front door all the way to the back door, depending on what you're putting into your body. We all know now that we are energy beings. Every scientist, all the people long ago decided that we are all energy. The fact that we show up as a physical body is the miracle of what we call life, right? So when you break us all down, you can measure every organ in your body as a megahertz, as a frequency, because that's what you are. When you go to the doctor and they do all the MRIs and things, those are frequency energy machines, because that's how you test an energy being. So if we are energy beings, which means that we have a frequency when we're healthy, what are you doing to help yourself increase the frequency in your body? Are you eating high frequency foods? Do you know what high frequency foods are, right? So high frequency foods are going to be your fruits and organic fruits. When I say organic, don't go to Costco to get organics. I probably shouldn't say that. Go to your farmers markets. Go to your local farmers market. Find your local farmers. Find the ones who are growing organic. Find the ones who are not using synthetic fertilizers, who are doing the very best to restore the soil in which they're growing the food that they're bringing to you. And this includes local farmers who are raising cattle or sheep or goat if you eat meat. There are farmers. You can go to Primal Pastures. You can go to other locations that actually put local farmers together. I know on Jim Gale's website, this is how I found it, is finding local farmers, because this way we're paying back the people that we're living around, and we're also increasing nutritional value that's going into our bodies. So fruits, high frequency. After fruit comes your vegetables, right? So we still need the vegetables, we still need the fiber. Now we're looking at everything else comes down in frequency after that, except for your essential oils, like the lemon lift and the orange burst and the super cinnamon. Those high frequency essential oils are way at the top of the food chain, right? And if someone says, if there's one thing that you can eat, if you only had one thing you could eat, what would you pick? It would be sprouts. Sprouts are so full of life force energy. These are the babies. These are, right where, you think about how little baby snakes are more poisonous than adults, because they're so full and impacted right there when they're born. So this is just like your sprouts. Put sprouts into as many meals as you can. I put sprouts in my shakes. That's right, because I want that high frequency nutraceutical. I want that to be inside my body, because that's what's important, right? We want to be healthy. And so I tell people, are you eating happy? Did you know that if you're angry, or if you're fighting with somebody, or you're watching some news thing on the TV, that you're not the one that's going to be able to take up nutrition? You can't. Your body's in a sympathetic state. You're in flight or fright. You're in defensive mode. You're yelling at the TV or each other, right? So these are things that you need to consider. And did somebody just join me? Do I have someone here that just joined us on our show? I thought I saw somebody in the corner. Well, I'm going to tell her that she can come on. This is Lorraine. There you are.
All right.
Hi, Lorraine. How are you tonight? Thanks for jumping in.
Yes. Sorry about that. I'm helping with Sage, and then I've got a little bit more than 30-minute drive back home.
No
So,
worries.
yeah,
I can finish
I
up if you want to just drive home and de-stress. But I love that you came on to say hi.
that would be great.
Yes,
That
it's
would
been
be
a long
great.
day. I
Yeah.
got it, girlfriend.
All right. Thank you so much. I
You're
love all you
welcome.
guys. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Okay, thanks, Lorraine. So
All
we'll get
right.
back
Bye.
to talking about our fabulous highway to life, right? Here we are. Lorraine, you're just going to listen. I love that. There she goes. So, again, you don't want to be in an angry place. You want to be in a happy place. You want to be in a parasympathetic state. If you don't know how to do that, then get up, walk out, take a deep breath, maybe get your belly button tool, do a little belly button therapy, put yourself back into a parasympathetic state. And now, when you go back and sit at the table, have a quiet environment. Don't have any distractions. Be grateful. Think about, the food that you're taking in. And digestion happens here, right? Metabolism starts in your stomach. Most of your digestion is happening right here in your mouth. This is why it is so important that you drink your solids and chew your liquids. That means when you pick up your fork and put a mouthful in, you're going to chew it until it becomes as much as water as we can. Now we've got all the digestive juices that have gotten into the food so that when you swallow and it gets to the stomach to start metabolism, it's already broken down, right? We are not cows with four stomachs to digest later. If you gulp your food, no digestion is happening. This means it's rushing through the stomach in 30 minutes. And how's your stomach supposed to get all the nutrients out of it? How's it supposed to digest that? How's it supposed to metabolize it? And so what happens is it then becomes part of the compost pile, right? Because it's got to pass through somehow, and you're not getting the nutrition that you need, right? And so please chew until it becomes a liquid. And then take a minute with your water just to chew. Watch how much different that is. It puts a little digestive juice in it. It also will hydrate your mouth. If we gulp our water, then it's kind of like we never feel hydrated enough. So these are all really important issues because what happens if we do not eat the right foods? And I love this. Remember, the more you cook, the worse you look. The more you fry, the quicker you die. And there's a reason for that, especially frying foods. But you want live, high frequency foods going into your body. And this is what happens. You'll see on the right-hand side of this, which is my right, is what looks like when you start working on a compost pile and you start to get back up. And so you have what I call constipation, where you might feel like you don't have constipation because you didn't go for a couple of days and then you did go, or you had a little diarrhea because now your body's doing whatever it can to try to get something out of your body, right? It's trying to liquefy that manure pile. So it's going to, this is right, your body is going to make its own fungus, mold, parasites. That's right, in order to break up the compost pile. And so you're just, you don't want to grow a baby. We don't want to fertilize in a compost pile, right? We need to get the inflammation out. We need to address the issue. And so we have our key foods that we talk about when we do the DACA detox in the shows, and that is our three basics. First of all, get yourself a structured water unit. You want a structured water unit. This is going to make sure that the water that you're taking is 700 times more hydrating and available to your body. That's right. You're cleaning up that water molecule so that you can make it even healthier for yourself, right? And then you're going to be taking the uh, cleansing tea. I know there's not a slide on here that shows me these things. That's why I'm telling you about them now. So you're going to do the cleansing tea, right? Because that's going to help all the organs in your body. And then you're going to add the black gold, which is going to go in and absorb 400 times its weight. You're going to put it in a shake. You can sprinkle it on your salads, put it in your soups, and this is going to work in the intestinal tract. It's going to absorb 400 times its weight, and it's going to grab hold of heavy metals and mold and yeast and fungus. And we want that fungus out because the fungus drills holes in the large intestine. And that's why we say you're pooping in your pelvis. You're literally dripping that fecal matter from the compost pile into your pelvic area. Now it's getting onto all those amazing organs that we need for other things. Your bladder, your prostate, right? Now you've got inflammation. And for women, it's our ovaries, it's our uterus, it's our bladder. We got a few more bells and whistles in our pelvis. So it's even more important for us to be addressing inflammation all the time. And so the black gold is going to work in the intestinal tract. It's going to, like I said, absorb all the bad guys. It's going to leave 70 nutrients, bionutrients in the gut to help build good intestinal flora so that you are getting the very best nutrition and the assimilation and, that's happening, metabolizing when we get to our stomachs. And then it's going to balance your hormones. So instead of going and getting estrogen blockers and doing other things, how about we reduce the inflammation, right? So that you can balance the hormones and help get yourself back to your godlike state, back to the perfection that you were, so that then you're healing naturally, right? Without outside chemicals or surgeries or any of the other things that, that quick fix that everybody wants. And then you're going to take the black diamond, because the black diamond is a humic fulvate that you're going to put in your water. It also does all the things that black gold does, but now it's going to do it in the blood because it can pass through that blood-brain barrier. Now you've got this amazing arsenal inside working for you. And I tell people, get a perfect day consultation. At least start with the things that we know that we can use, because you want to be doing the ultimate coffee enemas. You want to help your body as it's flushing everything out. You're going to go to the pdgfree.com. You're going to download at bhnapp.com, download the app, get the perfect day guide. All the instructions for everything I'm talking about are in there. These are what you need, okay? And then you're going to do the ultimate infusions, whether it's rectal or vaginal, because that's also going to get right to the pelvic area and help as well. We're going to be doing it, coming at it from both sides, right? Going all the way through the intestinal tract and also coming at it from behind so that we can be doing all we can. That's that massive personal action we're talking about. And right now, there's that amazing sale on. So you want to go to the DocaDetoxStore.com and get yourself a perfect day consultation. Find out all the things that you need. And know that we are here at the DACA Detox. And we also have amazing shows that we keep putting on because it is so important to educate yourselves, right? And we just finished doing the amazing healing event, that was Healers of the Faith. That was phenomenal. And now we have Gold Care. And that is going to be Sunday, July 13th, 11 to 6 Eastern Standard Time. And we've got so many amazing, you guys, these are amazing people that are coming here for free and going on this world event to bring this information to you and me. It's Dr. Dana H. Brandberg-Nill, Dr. Simone Gold, Dr. Darrell Wolfe, and 18 world leading healers that are coming and giving us all this information that we need. Gold Care, how to take care of ourselves, know how to do it, what to take, when to take it. I love that this is available to all of us. And here at the Braveheart Nation, we're bringing this to you for free. And of course, you need to go to bhnuniversity.com and sign up. If you don't sign up, you won't get the links for the live Q&A, which will be on Monday and Tuesday, so that if you have questions after listening, you can now ask questions in real time. So that's Monday, July 14th from 12 to 2 Eastern Time, and Tuesday from 7 to 10 Eastern Time. So I know that I listened as much as I could to the other ones, and you can go back to Instagram and you can watch them again. It's going to be on Evolve as well. And look at this. Whoop, gotta go back. These are all the classes that are coming up right now. And when you open up Evolve or go to bhnuniversity.com, you can see on the calendar of events everything that we're doing. So this June 17th is Heal Yourself, Heal Your Family. What a great way to start. If you are just on this journey, men, if you just jumped in, or maybe women, you jumped in, you're having issues with fertility, and it could be your husband as well, and you want to learn about how to heal yourself, heal your family, then it's free. It's June 17th. Then we have the Gold Care on the 13th, Rock with the Doc on the 19th, Heal Yourself, Heal Your Family back on August 6th, right? Again, Rock with the Doc. And then we have the Quantum Power Pack Healing. Then we have the Food Forest Abundance, and then Solid Soldier Immunity. I mean, I love these names. And you get to have all these at your fingertips. And because we're bringing the truth to you, that's right. They keep trying to ban us from Facebook or some of the other, platforms, but we are always going to be available on Daryl's platform because it's ours. So when you download that bhnapp.com, you have access to those, everything that we're doing. And we're on so many different platforms, and we are growing at approximately 20,000 new Bravehearts every day. Just imagine that. Imagine if everybody on this planet knew about us and started taking their power back and started real healing. Big Pharma would be out of business, right? Because it would no longer be driving the boat. Let's get back into the driver's seat and drive our own car through life. This is our communication device. This is my meat suit. I'm taking care of it. It's going to live to be 120, right? That's right. So we're going to keep putting the message out there to everybody. And we're on podcasts, all these stations. You can listen to us on any place that you are, in the car, on your phone, on the computer. Yes, please protect yourself from those EMFs, right? I also have my heart. These are also from the DACA Detox to have on. So please find what works for you. Start tuning in. Tell your friends. Figure out how to get, start downloading the things that matter. And right now, Dr. Sage Wolfe is going and doing his tour. He's kind of only got a few places left because he is going around, like right now, he's up in Calgary. He's doing the Wolfe Non-Surgical. And following the Wolfe Non-Surgical, he had some appointments available, which are full. This was doing the total body thermography. Because if you want to find out where the inflammation is in your body, this is what you want to do. He's going to find it out, show you on a graph where your issues are in your body. So that's important. Know where to start. And then he's doing heavy metal testing. You get a perfect day consultation when you get that thermography done. You get Wolfe Non-Surgical from him, and then the cell sonic regeneration. And all the places that he's going to are power pack clinics. They will have the cell sonic regeneration, and some will have the cardio med bed. So he's going to be, after he leaves Calgary, going to St. Louis, Missouri. And he's going to be there from July 6th to July 15th. You can give Tim or Sandy a call, 479-215-9592. Don't wait. If you're anywhere in that area, you want to be seen. He's leaving there and he's coming here to Occidental, California, in Northern California. He'll be here from July 20th to July 29th. And I have a few Wolfe Non-Surgical appointments available, but that's it because everybody's been so excited, including Dr. Judy Mikovits is coming up here. Once he leaves my clinic, he's heading to Los Angeles. You want to give Niren a call if you can see him anytime between July 31st to August 7th. That is going to be 386-631-4066. And then he's off to Montreal, Quebec. So this is very exciting. He'll be there from August 23rd to September. Oh, my little thing is in the way. September 1st. And you want to call Christine. And I know that Christine is also speaks fluent French. And so she can talk to you, anybody up there in Quebec. Call her at 438-929-0997. Get started on your healing journey. Make this happen for you. I know I'm so excited. And then, of course, if you missed any of this and you really do want to see Dr. Sage Wolfe, just go to bhnuniversity.com, click on his picture, and it'll have every place he's going to be, who to call, and the dates that they're going to be there so that you can make this happen for yourself. And I'm excited for the whole world to start doing these things. And right now, we have fulfillment centers everywhere in America, in Canada, and in Australia, so that when you go to the sale, it's going to get to you faster. And of course, as we said, Dr. Sage is going to all these Power Pack clinics, okay? So if you want to become a Power Pack clinic, and I really encourage everybody to, if you're into this healing, if you have any kind of a healing center, you want these in your clinic. You want to be able to expedite the healing for people, and it's real healing. Complete circulation. Who isn't going to be healthier with complete circulation with a cardio med bed? And then the cell sonic regeneration does everything from, breaking up calcification, scar tissue, wound healing. It just goes on and on. And so when you buy either of these, and of course, if you buy both, you get more, you're going to get a 23-day professional training, right? You're not just going to get a machine, you're going to be trained. You're going to be educated on what real health is and blow your mind, because I know it did mine. So go to dodpowerpack.com if you're at all interested. And yes, now there is financing in the USA. So again, you want to go to PowerPack, dodpowerpack.com. And the financing is for the classes as well, even if you don't have, aren't purchasing that. We have not raised our prices in a very long time. The whole life health coach certified, the Wolfe Non-Surgical, and then the New World Practitioner certified. I believe that those amounts need to be updated because this is an older one. So I know that the World Practitioner certified is $9,000. I know it's $39.95 for the whole life coach. So yes, and the women's pelvic restoration. And look, this is why we do all of this and bring it to you, because here at Braveheart Nation, we want to go from patient to healer and from victim to Braveheart. And there is a beautiful DoD 5-star healing clinic in Ixtapas, Guantanamo. But now there's one coming in 2026, St. Cloud, Florida, where there's going to be another DoD 5-star on Jim Gale's property. It's going to be amazing. And again, like I said, go to bhnapp.com. Download this free app. Everything that you need is right there. Continue your courses, new courses, all the things that are happening right now. You can track your perfect day, news and events. Go to the New World Practitioner map. Find someone close to you and start your healing journey. We've got Evolve, which is the world's largest free online library of videos, guides, and audio for self-healing. It's amazing. Everything in there, and start educating yourself. And it's fun, it's funny, and it's interesting. And then you can connect with brave hearts around the globe. That's right. Find people who are also on this path and find people to encourage you and get into groups and just have a good time. And then they do have the perfect match, but in order to do that, you have to take the Emotional Intelligence Masterclass, which is in the app, which is also free to you to do. And then when you go to the perfect match, you're going to be put together with someone who's also done the work, someone who's on this path, who's walking their talk and in integrity, which is what you want, right? You want someone who's getting rid of their stinking thinking. And here is the ultimate healing guide, free to you. This is what you want. This is your health Bible. This is where you can go in and look and find everything that we're talking about, all the instructions, all about the nutraceuticals, why you want to take them, what's in them, all the different healing modalities that are available through the DACA Detox. And then you can go, download it for free, right? At the PDG free, or as they say here, at DACAdetox.com. If you want it delivered to you from the store, it's $95. I think there's a sale maybe still going on. You'll have to look and see, right? Or you can read it in Evolve. It's there for you. So I have the book. I like having something right in front of me. And of course, these are the courses that you want to take, the whole life coach, you guys. This is about erasing and overwriting all the misinformation that we've been given about our health. And remember, your health isn't just about the physical. It's about the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. And so in this course, you are going to have a groundbreaking experience. I'm sure you will be unleashed. You'll crack your coconut. The aha will happen. The light will go on. You won't realize how much of a victim you've been until you take this course. Even when you think that you're doing so great, I'm here to tell you, it was amazing. Find out what your triggers are. Find out what holds you back. Also, find out how the body works and how to become a healthy, pain-free body. That's what real health is. And so all of these courses, bhnuniversity.com, click on it. The Wolfe Non-Surgical, like Sage is up there doing right now. Learn to break up calcification and scar tissue. Learn how to bring health back into all the parts of your body. Come and do it as a family. Do it as a couple. I'm telling you, this is so important. When you can do this for each other, work on each other, that means you get rid of the doctors and run into the doctors and taking more pills, and you get your freedom back. You get your health back. And that's what feels amazing. And I know that for me, I had to become a master practitioner because this works. And I love everybody that comes to my clinic. I am going to support you in your journey to self-healing because that's how excited we all get. All the practitioners that go to do this work are so excited to pay it forward. My joy is the Women's Pelvic Restoration and Disease Prevention Masterclass. This is for women only right now. We hope to have one for men at some point. Right now, there's still room for the one in Calgary, but you have to jump on it. It's June 27th to 29th. That's this month. And I know that Lorraine will be teaching it along with Sandra this time. So you want to have this done. This is where it's going to be live in person. It is so powerful to do it in person. I encourage everybody, please, if you're interested, go sign up now. Women, you need this. Every woman on the planet. And I tell everybody, get a perfect day consultation. Find someone who can meet you where you're at on your healing journey and then support you and encourage you from this moment forward. Okay. So Dr. Daryl Wolfe, to have a perfect day consultation is $250. A new world practitioner like myself, master practitioner is $150. Call the toll-free number if you want Dr. Wolfe, 855-900-4544, extension 1, or go to perfectdayconsultation.com and get yourself signed up. Again, we are on so many platforms, Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, Telegram, BitChute, and we will continue to go on them until they pick us off all of them, and we'll still have the BHN studio to do them live. That's right, and there's all the different ones for audio. And of course, the fulfillment things. And become a Doxa Detox affiliate partner. If you refer people to become a Power Pack clinic, then you can earn a commission on that referral. So go to the Doxa Detox, sign up at DoxaDetoxPartners.com. But you can earn commissions on, sending people to our store, to the courses, to a Power Pack clinic. Why not? Let's get the word out. And of course, if you are a health practitioner or professional, you have any kind of a clinic, I don't care if it's sound healing or light healing, you want to be able to offer to your clients the most amazing, high frequency, structured, pure products. No fillers, no chemicals, no nothing in the nutraceuticals, as Dr. Judy calls them, nutritionceuticals that we offer, because we do have to supplement what we eat. We cannot get enough anymore from the foods we eat because our soils have been poisoned. It will not be back to, we're trying to restore it. Jim Gale's got us all going, learning how to turn your property back into a place of food. But that's going to take years. In the meantime, you have to support your body. If you want to get that inflammation out, you've got to be taking some of the nutraceuticals as well. Okay? And of course, we say here all the time at the Doxa Detox that the only permanent health care is self-care. That's right. Nobody can do this for you. If we abdicate our power to the medical system that really doesn't know health, they're great if you're in an emergency, you're in a car accident, and you got to be put back together, they're the place you want to go. But for your real health, to get back to a state of non-inflammation, to no longer have the issues in your joints, to get rid of the signals that people call pain, get rid of the signals in your body, hear a humming, wake up with joy, wake up with energy, then you have to do this yourself, because the only permanent love is self-love. And if you don't unconditionally love yourself, all the nutraceuticals in the world won't stop you from going back to an inflamed state, because this software program, right, this is the stinking thinking that keeps creating it over and over, because the pain in our body is from an emotional trauma, whether we're aware of it or not. And we have to learn how to let go, because to rise to your full potential, you have to learn to fly. And that means you have to first love yourself. If you missed any of these things, if you want to know when the courses are going to be, then you need to go to bhnuniversity.com and click on all of the courses that are offering, anything that you would have missed, any slides that aren't on here right now. It doesn't matter. Just go and make that happen. Start educating yourself, because here at Braveheart Nation at the bhnuniversity.com and the bhnapp.com, we are stronger when we rise together, and we already know that. When we see how people come together, how people say no to our government or to whatever, we have a voice. We have a voice as a community, as a nation. Don't let anyone take your voice away. Don't, get out of the herd. And we here at the Braveheart community are here to help you walk on your own 2 feet and understand what it means to become your own self-practitioner and to be able to heal yourself. And I know that we are all very, very excited for that possibility. And because it was just me, we were able to finish in a, probably sooner than most, but that's okay, because I am so glad that you joined me tonight. When I come on these shows and I host these shows and we present these shows, it's because it matters so much to us that we are bringing something to you that we know that will, heal the nation. And I know that all of us here are doing this not for compensation. I do this because I want everyone to know. I want you to be healed. And again, if you're anywhere in Northern California, come and see me at Occidental Health and Healing. You can go to my website, occidentalhealthandhealing.com, or give me a call at 707-322-1979. So we always end with the Braveheart Oath. And so just take a minute, nice deep breath, hand over, and we say, I am love, I am healed, I am Braveheart. Today and every day, from the moment I rise until I gently close my eyes, I will always trust, honor, respect, protect, forgive, and totally love myself first and foremost before anyone else or anything else. So help me God, because I am, I can, I am love, I am healed, I am Braveheart, and I am all in. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And remember, 3, 2, 1, you got this.